crest of this hill that I'm on, and you're going down the other side, just take your foot off of the controls, no gas, no brake, and more than likely you will feel the brakes being applied as you go down the hill. That would be the hill descent control, limiting the speed as you descend down that slight grade. This Matt didn't explain in the classroom, this will all be done nose to tail, one single file line. And it is done at a relatively low speed, 5 miles an hour or less. I'm going to continue to roll slow and let everyone get back together here before we take off around the front of the building. Excellent. Looks like we're all fairly close. We can disregard this stop sign. No need to stop individually.
Driving instructor saying disregard the stop sign. All right.
As you can probably tell, we're very busy on a daily basis. Our average program count per day is about 3 to 4. Some days we have 5 or 6, 7, even different programs happening at the same time. Believe it or not, today is a light day for us. We only have, I think, 4 programs today, but they're relatively low head counts. Over to the right over there, that is the manufacturing facility. If you didn't know, it is BMW's largest manufacturing facility in the world, producing, last I heard, a little over 1,400 cars per day, operating 24 hours a day, around the clock, and roughly 11,000 employees over there. And that brings us to our off-roading area. As mentioned, 2022. Nose to tail. There will be 2 exceptions to that, 2 obstacles in which I call you over those obstacles individually. But I'll let you know when we get to those. Until then, just stay together. The first thing we're going to encounter here is our water crossing. The water crossing really only has one rule, and no splashing allowed. And that means slow through it, right? A perfect speed is going to be about 2 to 3 miles an hour. That way we limit the weight that we create as we go through. And this is a good rule to follow if you ever have to cross a flooded roadway, or if you do take your ex-vehicle off-road. But God help you if you do that. Most people do not, but if you do, anytime you're going through the water, momentum is key, but not speed, right? Just a slow momentum. That way we don't create splashes or wakes, which have a tendency to come up and over the hood. As you come out of the water crossing, you're not going to be able to see where you're going. Just keep the wheel straight. You'll be fine if you keep it straight over the crest of the hill. And I'm going to pull up here and just wait on everyone to get out. It's the next obstacle. The next obstacle will be a what we call the frame bender. And so gang, there's no need to wait individually. Come in nose to tail into that water crossing for future reference. And it's actually better if you do that. That way you have a reference as to what to do. You can watch that car ahead of you. But back to the frame bender. The frame bender is really just an introduction to the X-Drive system. X-Drive is not your typical four-wheel drive system that you would find on a pickup truck or a Jeep for that matter. It's a torque vectoring system. And what that means is you're not limited on power output per corner. It can send the power output evenly amongst the 4 corners, or it can send 100% of the power to one corner, one wheel and tire, or any combination there in between. And that's pretty helpful in a situation like the frame bender here. where you have these two offset hills causing two tires to not touch at all. So obviously if those tires aren't touching the ground, it does no good to send power to them. X-Drive recognizes that and sends the power to the left front and the right rear, the ones that have grip. Car 1, when you get right here where I am stopped, I want you to stop and hold the group. This is the first of those two obstacles that I'll call you over individually, but I actually have to get over the obstacle and in place to do that. So just sit tight. I'm going to try to not give away the surprise for anyone that's here for the first time. There's a surprise on this downward slope, and that surprise creates the need for me to be what's called a spotter. A spotter is a set of eyes outside the vehicle that can guide you around or over obstacles that you cannot see from the driver's seat. So, since you cannot see from the driver's seat the obstacle, it should be pretty obvious that you have to follow instructions closely here. Something less obvious, but equally, if not more important, is that you follow instructions quickly, especially anything that pertains to the brake pedal. If you hear me say brake or stop, that means stop immediately with a real sense of urgency as quickly as possible. It does not mean casually go to the brake pedal and stop in 4 or 5 seconds. That's a short amount of time, but a lot can happen in a short amount of time if you let it. Alright, so let's get this started. I can see you there, car 1. Go ahead and start to crawl up that hill. 3 miles an hour is perfect, but please no more than 5 miles an hour. As you're going up, you will feel a strong urge to steer left. Resist that urge until I tell you to. Very good. Keep coming. And stop. Perfect. While you're sitting still, slowly steer left. I'll tell you when it's enough. That's good. That's actually a little too much. Slipped it there. There you go. Ease forward now. I may have an adjustment in a minute. There you go. And, alright. Give me a little bit of power, but be ready to stop. Yep, be ready to stop again when I ask you. And stop. Perfect. Let it settle. Now, on the count of 3, you're going to do what I call a BMW trust fall, where we just let the car go and hope that it saves us as it goes down that steep hill. So on the count of 3, come off the brake pedal all together, all at once. 1, 2, 3, come off of it, all the way off, and you're going to see hill descent control is going to save you there. It's going to limit that speed on the descent, helping you come down smoothly. Car 2, you can go ahead and go over the frame bender. So gang, again, there's no need to stop and wait individually and watch. You can go over. It's just when you get to the big hill, you'll need to wait on me to call you. But car 3, Chris, you can go over the frame bender and get in position, so on and so forth. Car 2,
see if we can balance this
3
time.
3 miles an hour is perfect. Please no more than 5.
Oh, just a little more.
Very good. Keep coming. I got eyes on you. Keep coming.
There we go.
And stop. Yep. Straighten the wheel for me. Thank you. And give me a smooth, consistent amount of throttle and be ready to stop again when I ask you to. A smooth, consistent amount of throttle and be ready to stop again when I ask you to. Very good. Yep. Almost. And stop. Perfect.
Look at that.
While you're sitting there in an